Well, good morning and welcome to the Wisconsin Weather Experts. So we got a full pack show today because it's Earth Day.
It is Earth Day. And of course, obviously that's near and dear to our hearts. We spend our lives and our careers focused on this planet that we live on and the atmosphere that surrounds it. So it's a big deal. And it's something that's been around for decades as well. And, a lot of school kids get today to kind of focus on making projects and talking about what they can do for our home planet. Spaceship Earth, as some people like to call it, which is an apt description. I mean, we are literally traveling around the sun, and without this planet to travel in as a spaceship, we, would not be here.
Yeah, and it's very important to at least partake in it today. We're going to talk about, with the weather, even here and nationally, what you can do to help out, because at the end of the day, the Earth's here a lot longer than we are.
That's
so
right.
Making your footprint in a positive aspect is going to be very important for
Lots of great local ideas, national, international ideas as well. And of course, we are going to look ahead, as we always do, as part of our gig here. But I want to look back just because sometimes the weather just works out so beautifully. We go back to the Boston Marathon yesterday, and we had one of our Fox weather reporters there, Katie Byrne, was there. She filed this report yesterday during the event.
You could not ask for better weather for runners here at the Boston Marathon today. Take a look. They just had a long journey to get here, 26.2 miles. They start in the town of Hopkinton, and then they end up here in the city of Boston. They make their way through 7 towns until they get back to the city. We've been talking to people who say this isn't their first time running the Boston Marathon. A lot of them say they've run through definitely worse weather. We're in the 50s today, but when you look at the last 25 years, we know that some of these runners have run through temperatures as low as the 30s, as high as the 80s. Some people say even in the 50s today, it felt almost too hot. So now we know some of them are looking for a shady spot, but we had more than 30,000 here today from more than 100 countries, and we'll have the latest all day on Fox Weather.
Of course, that was filed yesterday during the course of the event there, live from the event, and we appreciate that. And it was just a great day weather-wise.
Beautiful.
Maybe a little too warm for people running a marathon. Probably depends on, where you're from. She said over 100 countries represented, right? I mean, if you're from, Scandinavian country, probably way too hot. If you're, a Kenyan runner, that country tends to deliver some great long-distance runners, probably not as hot for them. So it kind of depends on where you're from, because climate is relative.
It is, absolutely. And the best thing was it looked like they were dry. Even though it was a little warmer, I think the key here is that they weren't running in storms where they couldn't be outside. And also they had that dry pavement for better traction when they were running, better
more
timing.
Efficient running. And also we all know what it's like to run in wet shoes or wet socks.
I did see some person the other day running, and because the sidewalk was so slick, they were running in the grass instead, which necessarily isn't the better traction.
I don't know.
I'm like, all right, whatever you got to do. So.
We understand there's a little bit of a runner's addiction that you get into. Once you get into the running, you just got to run. So we were happy to share that with you. But let's focus on what's coming. We've obviously had a little bit of rain and thunderstorm activity today. We're into a more active pattern.
We are certainly into a little more active pattern. Right now, what we're continuing to track, though, is overcast skies from our Estabrook Park tower camera. And yes, at times, we have been dealing with pockets of light rain, even some isolated thunderstorm activity, which we're going to break down. But what's been accompanying some of these showers is a southerly wind and warmer temperatures. So really, we're looking over the upcoming days, not just here locally, but almost statewide, of dealing with temperatures about 10 to 15 degrees above average for this time of year. 60s and 70s out there. We'll get a little cooler by the end of the week, but even then, heading into the weekend, we're still looking at having that trend of above average temperatures. As we take a look, though, at our temperature outlook across the country, notice from the Great Plains heading eastward, we are favored in those dark red colors there for above average temperatures, even extending the forecast forward as we wrap up April and head into the beginning of May. And our outlook even further out, heading into the first week of May, also looks to be unseasonably warm here in the Midwest and the Great Lakes region. So let's take a look at our current temperatures right now statewide. While we're still having that pocket of slightly cooler temperatures in the 40s from Duluth to Rhinelander to Wausau, we really are still on the warmer side of things with the 50s in central and southern counties. Now, we do have a warm front closer to the border, so that is going to help aid some of the warmer temperatures in the 50s, 60s, and some areas even expected to get close to the 70s today. It is going to be a push of that warmer air moving into Wisconsin that we'll continue to track today and tomorrow. Let's take a look, though, satellite radar, because really what we're tracking is an isolated thunderstorm which developed in Walworth County just as it moved in the Racine and Kenosha counties. A few lightning bolts there, rumbles of thunder. That's quickly moving over the lake with that moderate pocket of rain. So most of us hanging on to a mixture of clouds and showers across the state of Wisconsin from north to south. Because we are still far from this frontal system, activity is very limited in terms of becoming stronger. But where we have seen those few showers and thunderstorms start to perk up, notice it's near that warm front. That is an area of lift that actually can enhance vertical motion and allow storms to potentially develop. That's what we're going to be talking about, is where these fronts are set up. They not only can produce some showers and thunderstorms, but also very heavy rain. And we're not expected to see much heavy rain here locally in the Midwest. This mainly is going to stick towards portions of Oklahoma and the Texas Panhandle, as well as areas near New Orleans. But it's the severe weather threat that's going to extend elsewhere. Texas, and again, this long signature here heading into portions of the Midwest and Wisconsin could have some strong to severe storms, and another band of that from New Orleans heading towards the Carolinas. So here locally statewide, most of the state could just have some showers, not looking to have severe weather. But we are still going to watch areas along that Illinois-Wisconsin border and south for the potential of some stronger storms. The biggest threat really for Wisconsin today and into northern Illinois, it's going to be the threat for maybe some storms which could produce some gusty winds and larger hail. But we definitely have had a lot of rain in the past several weeks that has significantly helped our drought monitor. In fact, most areas are just under abnormally dry conditions north and south. We've limited that moderate and severe risk which we had over the winter months and even into the start of spring. Let's recap the rainfall just for the month of April, because so far this month for Milwaukee, we've had 2.68 inches. We are just barely seeing a deficit right now. For the year, we've had just over 8 inches, and again, just a hair below where we should be. So with all the rain that we've had, even though it may have seemed to be a little bit of an issue for some plans, statewide, we are looking at not having a deficit now, but a surplus from areas that are seeing at least 2 inches or more. Notice from Green Bay to Rhinelander and Wausau. So really dealing with a lot more rain as we're heading into spring. Always a good thing to get us out of those drought conditions, since we did not have as much snow in areas of the state this winter, but also going to help bring some of those crops and those Mayflowers as we head into the upcoming weeks. Still planning on having, again, daily chances of showers and even some thunderstorms in the forecast as we head through the end of the week, and then looking to be drier over the weekend. So as we unfold things here on Sky Vision Plus, notice we're still going to be tracking some showers on and off across the state of Wisconsin today. So plan on that. We're really going to focus in again on southern portions of the state along the I-94 corridor and south. That's where we have the better potential tonight into Wednesday morning for some stronger storms. Again, most of the activity is still favored to be south, where that warm front's going to be located. But since we're going to be close to it, we'll have to watch if any of these storms can become elevated near that front and maybe produce some hail as we head from, again, tonight, Tuesday, into early Wednesday. Wednesday, we're still going to have to watch the trend of some showers and thunderstorms, in particular in southern portions of the state, closer to that frontal boundary. Again, the further north you go, notice we'll still have some spotty activity in areas near Door County and even stretching to Green Bay and Rhinelander. With the rain in the forecast, though, of course, we're continuing to track things every day heading closer to the NFL draft. We have that potential Thursday and Friday for some showers and thunderstorms in the forecast. It's okay to be out there in rain, but of course, when we have some of the lightning involved, that's when you want to get inside. Right now for the draft, though, best day still looking to be on Saturday. That's when we'll have partly sunny skies, temperatures in the 50s. This is just this time of year in spring, especially where we can have a combination of things, especially as we're in that transition month. But more on the wet side for us here locally in Wisconsin. Not a bad forecast, though, across the state. Rob, what else we have on tap coming up next?
Well, it's Earth Day, but some things needed to leave Earth just the other day to help us understand this planet a little bit better. In fact, just yesterday, just before Earth Day, a Falcon 9 left planet Earth, and we have some great video of that launch. I think we can take a little look and a listen at that right now.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ignition. Engines full power and lift off. Go Falcon, go Bandwagon 3.
So Falcon 9 rocket, Bandwagon 3, that's launched from SpaceX on Monday night from the Space Launch Complex there at Cape Canaveral in Florida. So on board of this mission, there was a small weather satellite. The design there is to monitor temperature and humidity in the atmosphere and help out with overall global weather forecasting. There's also a Korean satellite that's going to use radar for high-resolution Earth imaging and is able to do it in any weather conditions.
Wow.
So a couple of interesting launches there, and always a fascinating thing.
Yeah.
I want to go down, at some point I want to go down to Cape Canaveral and watch one of those live.
Same here. It's always been a fascination for me as a little kid to see some of that. So nice to know that they're at least making some advancements in the weather field as well, and hopefully we can get some more of that in the upcoming years.
That's right. And we're making some advancements in our local television here because we have Holly live this morning as she is out just kind of taking in this gray day. You're down at River Barn Park, right? How are things?
Yes, things are nice out here. I mean, it's a little chilly, but not too bad. It's very, very cloudy. I'll even show you that here. Just really nice, calm place to walk on a nice and beautiful sunny day and perhaps a cloudy day. They have a lot of little areas. They have a ball field over there that I discovered and even a little walking area right here. I'm surprised I haven't saw any, I guess, ducks or goose or geese, whichever
yeah,
it's
you got
called.
lucky. Yeah,
I'm surprised because I always, I got really lucky. But overall, just a gloomy day today outdoors.
All right. Can you do me a favor? Turn it around and point the other way, right? Like, yeah, you're turning around. Just flip the camera because I want to see the lacrosse fields. I used to coach girls lacrosse, and the lacrosse fields are right over there. Yep.
Are they soggy, you think?
Well, they always were. Every single practice,
Oh, no.
I would end up with my socks soaked. The girls would be soaked.
You have nice muddy shoes
Right.
tracking in the house?
And then the
no.
game day would come and it would snow because it's a spring sport in Wisconsin. Oh, yep, there they are. Hopefully they're drying out for the Zaki Wolf Pack. That's what they were called back in the day. Thank you, Holly. Appreciate that live from just down the road. I think technically right on the county line of Ozaukee and Milwaukee County there for River Barn Park. We'll be back as we take a live look downtown Milwaukee. We have more Wisconsin weather experts on the other side of this.
Well, welcome back to Wisconsin Weather Experts. You really talked about a little bit about Earth Day, a little bit about things beyond Earth, but we're going to take it back down to a local level because, believe it or not, as it is Earth Day, did you know it originated here in Wisconsin?
I did know that, yeah.
For those who maybe don't know, we're going to get into a little bit of the history of it. While it's Earth Day today, this is the 55th anniversary, believe it or not. So
That's older than me. That's good.
it's always a good thing, right?
The day, not the Earth, people. We
Rob
knew that part.
Rob is still young. Yes, not the Earth.
Young at heart.
Earth Day originated actually in Wisconsin. It was founded by Senator Gaylord Nelson, and he was from Clear Lake, Wisconsin. Picture of him there. He really wanted to have a national day that would focus on the environment. So back in 1970s, he worked on this for a while, and Earth Day became a national holiday in 1970 and was adopted globally in 1990. Besides just Earth Day originating in Wisconsin, another really cool tidbit is we had Wisconsin native Miley Zantow who began the plastic recycling movement. So those little triangles we see with different numbers on pieces of plastic, she's the one who invented that. It's a numbered system that helps identify which type of plastics can be recycled in different ways. So really kind of stemming back again to Wisconsin for some of the origins of Earth Day, some of the ways you can celebrate today. It not only reducing your plastic waste, but you could do things such as reducing your food waste. If you're maybe eating lunch or dinner, try to not throw it out. There's things you can do. You can
only order what you can eat.
Absolutely.
Or enjoy leftovers.
Yes. Recycling efficiently. Again, composting option's a good one. Reuse materials. What are we good at in this state? Bags.
Yes.
Reusing the plastic bags from stores. Conserving water and energy. Educate yourself and others about the environment. And again, take action in your community. So there's so many different ways that you can take part today. And even if it's just learning about Earth Day, that within itself can help out on a day like today.
You know, and start small. Just maybe you make one little change today. You know, maybe you turn the tap off while you're brushing your teeth instead of letting the water run. You know, maybe you recycle a bag instead of using a new one every time for your lunch.
That's me.
Right? Little things like that. And if we all do it, it'll all start to add up. Right?
Yes.
So those are all wonderful ideas for sure. I had a chance to talk with one of the organizers and the person that is involved with the actual organization. So we can take a listen to that now. Thanks for joining us on the show here, Wisconsin's Weather Experts. Appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me.
So Earth Day's got a wonderful history here in Wisconsin. I'm sure you're well aware of that.
Yes, absolutely. There were hundreds of people on the first Earth Day in 1970 that walked out from UWM and Marquee, and they gathered at MacArthur Square. They did skits, they had anti-pollution songs, and they had political leaders that joined them, like Representative Henry Roos. So it was a very lively, active demonstration.
A very 70s scene, one would say, yeah.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Exactly.
Appropriate for the times. But the message then and the message now remains the same, that we have work to do to keep the planet and the environment of it in tip-top shape. Now, of course, I don't want to get into the politics of it, but there are many things that we can do to both celebrate the Earth and kind of do our part to take care of it, right?
Absolutely. There are so many things. Every year we set a theme for our Earth Day, and this year it's Our Power, Our Planet, which is advocating for a triple and renewable energy by 2030 for the health and finances of everybody around the world, because everybody deserves energy. And like you said, the messaging hasn't really changed. We're still fighting for clean air and clean water for everybody. A lot of things that you can do on Earth Day is you can talk to your local representatives in government and ask them if there's anything that they can do to start a conversation on renewable energy or keeping the Earth clean. You could join a cleanup. We have a lot of resources on our website, earthday.org, same as our name, where you can participate in these cleanups or plant trees or educate yourself. All of our resources on our website are free. And we have a lot of educational tools and toolkits that you can look into.
And are you finding the same energy for this stuff, with your generation as with previous generations?
Absolutely. Earth Day is something that can be celebrated by anybody of all ages. And recently we've been doing this First Earth Day, getting to know everybody's first stories. And it's really interesting. Back in 1970, a lot of people like met their spouses at these demonstrations. And still today, people are meeting friends and lifelong people that are really passionate about making sure that everybody has clean air, clean water, and that we keep the planet clean.
Obviously, very good goals that I think we can all agree upon. Now, not everybody obviously is as engaged with these. You get busy with life, you have kids, you got jobs, things like that. So if some people are just kind of restarting their like energy for Earth Day or just want to get, into being a bit of a better citizen of planet Earth, what's just one thing they can start with? Something super easy.
I think that's a great question. We have free resources on our website. I would direct you towards our climate education because that's where it all begins. We need to learn about why the planet is where it is and what we can do. And our climate education campaign is large and has a lot of educational resources. We have books on there that you can read for all ages, from 3 years old until you're 80 or even older. So I'd say that that's a great place to start. Reading is a great way to learn. So yeah.
There you go. And find new things and new resources, and of course, share them with everybody. I'm sure you have lots of content that folks can share on their social media as well.
Absolutely, yes. If you follow us, we're at Earth Day Network on Instagram, Earth Day on X. We're pretty much everywhere. You can find that we have a lot of great also educational resources there.
And just as we kind of wrap up here, tell me what brought you to this passion.
I am from California, and my parents were really early into the renewable energy sector. And I didn't even know that I was an environmentalist. It just is something that they put upon me without any labels. And I truly thought, if I'm an environmentalist, I have to shower with rainwater. And that's just not the case. Everybody can be an environmentalist. And I think that's what brought me here, is knowing that it's not a small sector, or it doesn't have to be expensive, that it's something that's accessible to everybody.
There you go. And I think everybody has their own motivations too, right? Like some folks just, as you say, want to be a part of change. Other people, it's how they make their living. Obviously, Wisconsin has a big agricultural industry, and we need to keep that healthy. We need to keep the earth healthy so that we can eat from it and raise crops on it and, raise livestock on it and things like that responsibly and ecologically. So I really appreciate your passion for it. And once again, that website?
Earthday.org.
All right. Thank you, Tara, and I appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, tons of great resources at earthday.org, and you can go there and come up with great ideas for conversations, projects, ways to get involved. Go check that out. Of course, it's easy to do. Wait till after the show, though, because we got a lot more weather experts coming up in just a few minutes here. We've got a great shot from the tower cam down at Estabrook Park. Looks like there are a few raindrops on the lens, still looking pretty gray. Coming up, again, we'll talk a bit more about Earth Day, and we'll wrap up the show, but there's always more weather experts anytime you want it on Fox Local. All right, welcome back to Wisconsin Weather Experts right here on Fox Local. As I said, going into the break, if you haven't had enough of this show for today, you could always look at all of the episodes that are banked here on Fox Local. And if you ever have any questions about something you may have seen on the show or something that you've just always wanted to ask a meteorologist or an earth scientist, please use the QR code. Takes you to a little web page, a little app page, and you can fill out the information there and send us your question, and we will do our best to answer it. We appreciate it.
We love questions.
Yeah,
love
certainly.
to answer
I mean,
them.
you're helping us produce this show, so we appreciate you being a part of this show each and every day when you do have those questions. Today, as we talked about Earth Day, there's a lot going on. We have a live picture this morning as they get ready for the big cleanup MKE. So we've got Alderman Russell Stamper and West Care, Wisconsin, in the Northcott Neighborhood Center. They've got the Badger Philanthropies and a bunch of others, encouraging residents throughout Milwaukee to join in their annual Big Clean MKE. It's a big initiative. It's going to kick in today. Earth Day, of course, makes sense. It is a citywide beautification effort in memory of Special Enforcement Inspector Greg Zigakowicz. I'm sorry if I said that last name incorrectly. He was tragically, of course, lost his life during an attempted carjacking while working for the city of Milwaukee back in 2017. So what a great way to honor Ziggy's memory then by participating in this Big Clean MKE. The big 8th annual Harambe cleanup is also an initiative to help residents of the Harambe neighborhood keep their neighborhood litter free. Both cleanups are a great way for neighborhood groups, churches, workplaces to get involved, and that's what you're looking at live here in Wisconsin Weather Experts. I'm sure we'll also be seeing this a little later on the Wisconsin Live Desk, which comes up after us.
Yes, and also tune into your local community. They may have some stuff this weekend as well to celebrate Earth Day.
Oh, there's your Earth that you live on. We'll see you tomorrow on Wisconsin Weather Experts.